5 intelligence officers walked on to a remote Utah ranch investigating UFOs for the Pentagon. Within weeks, something followed them home. Blue orbs appeared in their suburban neighborhood thousands of miles away. Shadowy figures moved through their houses. One officer's family encountered a wolf walking on 2 legs that left physical claw marks on a tree outside their Maryland home. This wasn't science fiction. This was the United States government's largest UFO investigation. And they discovered something far stranger than flying saucers. In 2008, the Defense Intelligence Agency launched AAWSAP, the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program. $22 million, 50 full-time investigators with top-secret security clearances. Their mission was to investigate UFO intrusions at America's most sensitive military installations. But the program began with one man's experience on a ranch in northwestern Utah. Dr. James Lacatski was a senior intelligence analyst at the DIA. In 2007, he read about Skinwalker Ranch, where witnesses reported mysterious high-tech objects emerging from what they described as holes in the sky. When he visited that summer, escorted by the ranch's owner, Robert Bigelow, something happened. Something profound enough that Lacatski immediately returned to Washington, convinced that a full investigation was warranted. By September 2008, AAWSAP was operational. The ranch sits on 512 acres of high desert in Utah's Uinta Basin. For decades, residents reported frequent UFO sightings. But the ranch itself seems to be the epicenter of something beyond UFOs. Unknown creatures, objects that defied physics, poltergeist activity, things that shouldn't exist. When AAWSAP investigators visited the ranch, they documented these phenomena firsthand. But then, something unprecedented began to happen. Something they would come to call the Hitchhiker Effect. At least 5 highly experienced intelligence officers visited the ranch to evaluate the reports. All 5 had close encounters with unexplained phenomenon while there, and all 5 took something home with them. One of these officers was a Naval Intelligence officer, a respected engineer who would eventually become a 2-star admiral. After his first trip to the ranch, his suburban Virginia home transformed into what his family described as an inferno of unexplained activity. Blue orbs, shadowy figures. His wife's autoimmune diseases flared up. Both teenagers suffered intense flu-like symptoms whenever phenomena occurred in the house. Then came the creature. His family encountered what they described as a wolf that walked on 2 legs. It appeared multiple times. It left deep scratch marks on a tree in their yard. Physical evidence that something had been there. This wasn't an isolated case. Investigative journalist George Knapp reported that his wife began seeing blue orbs outside their Las Vegas home after his ranch visits. Another investigator's wife had her arm grazed by a low-flying blue orb in their Maryland neighborhood. She fell ill almost immediately and was eventually diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. The pattern was unmistakable. People who investigated the ranch had close encounters with these phenomena. Didn't just witness something strange, they became carriers. The phenomenon attached to them like a contagion and manifested thousands of miles away in places that should have been completely normal. Dr. Colm Kelleher, the microbiologist who managed AAWSAP's operations, documented dozens of these cases. The team discovered that even UFO encounters unrelated to Skinwalker Ranch sometimes produced a version of the Hitchhiker Effect, especially when experiencers were followed and interviewed by the team over long periods. So what was the DIA's response to all of this? According to Dr. Lacatski, they never thought the findings were too weird. They wanted the research kept quiet because the implications were deadly serious. If these phenomena could follow people home, if they could cause physical effects and medical problems, If they seemed to operate under some form of intelligent control, then this represented a potential threat that went far beyond identifying aircraft. In late 2010, opposition within the Pentagon shut the program down. Officials uncomfortable with the paranormal research moved to eliminate AAWSAP's funding. But Lacatski and his team didn't give up. They attempted to move the program to the Department of Homeland Security under a new name, Kona Blue. The proposal was approved at multiple levels, and then higher-ups killed it, at least officially. In recent interviews, Dr. Lacatski has hinted that some version of the research may have continued. But he's also confirmed something else. In his book, cleared for release by the Department of Defense, Lacatski describes a 2011 meeting where he stated that the United States was in possession of a craft of unknown origin and had successfully gained access to its interior. A craft with a streamlined configuration suitable for flight, but no intakes, exhaust, wings, or control surfaces. No visible engine, fuel tanks, or fuel. When asked directly if he had entered this craft, Lacatski responded that he couldn't answer that question. Here's what we know for certain. The largest UFO investigation ever funded by the U.S. government didn't just study lights in the sky. It documented phenomena that blur the line between the physical and the paranormal. It discovered that these phenomena can attach to people and follow them home, causing real physical effects. It compiled evidence that convinced senior DIA officials that something genuinely unknown is operating in our world with capabilities that transcend our current understanding of physics and reality. The program was shut down officially. The research was classified. And somewhere in the classified world, people are still trying to understand what AAWSAP discovered. The question isn't whether the government takes this seriously. They clearly do. The question is what they've learned in the years since AAWSAP ended and why they're still keeping it secret. Because if 5 intelligence officers can carry something home from a Utah ranch, if phenomena can manifest in suburban neighborhoods thousands of miles from their source, if the barrier between the physical and the paranormal is more permeable than we've been taught, then the implications reach far beyond national security. They reach into the fundamental nature of what we think reality is. I'm curious what the listeners think about this story. Please leave comments below. Also, if you like what we're doing here, please like, share, and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow, and it means a lot to us, and we appreciate you greatly. Also, be sure to check out all the links below. We have a really great Facebook page where we post a lot of great material, and I think most of you will like that if you like what you see here. And remember, always keep an open mind, but not so open your brains fall out, because reality is fraying. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.
Look deep inside.